Walmart sells a ton of different kinds of travel gear, so we're gonna go inside, see what they have, do some shopping, and then we're gonna get a cart full of items and then put them to the test. So let's get started. So we're going backpack mode instead of luggage, like rolling luggage, because that's our thing. All right, so we have a lot of options over here, but after looking at all of them, I think we're gonna go with this Ozark Trail convertible backpack duffel. Oh, look, I picked up 2 of them. I was so excited. But I just really dig the look of it. And it's 35 liters, convertible. Ozark Trail is Walmart's brand, so I'm really interested to see how this does. Dual port. The dual port is only 20 watts, but the single is 30. So I feel like with the 30, you get a little bit more bang for your buck, even though you can only charge one device at once. Yeah, they've got like kits and everything too. It's really cool. Yeah, these little guys. This is a built-in, it's a 3-in-1 bag that comes with all the containers you need. But I like this kind here, actually. You get more of what you need. All right, so we've got some packing cubes, garment bag. This toiletry bag is massive. I don't know if I need something that big. These packing cubes are really the only option, but they seem pretty solid. You get 3 of them in a set, which is cool. Interesting feel. It's very crunchy. This toiletry bag as well. It's pretty big, but it's really the best option they've got here. We're gonna go with this one here. I like this one actually. This is nice. This feels more like fashion-based than the other Ozark Trail one that we saw. And it has no boundaries, which is cool. I mean, boundaries are very good, so you should have boundaries, but this one doesn't. Okay, I like that. So maybe we do go with this one. It's a bit of a safer bet. It looks like there's nothing like crazy on it. This clip is very, oh, that is very loud. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. After like 20 minutes of looking around for travel cutlery, we can't find anything. There's a chance it wouldn't be TSA anyway, so we're just gonna punt on that one. What is this? Oh my God, everything's gonna fall over. It's a Lululemon dude. It's not the everywhere belt bag, it's the everything belt bag. We got a pretty solid haul. I'm excited to test it all out. Once we had all of the gear in hand, it was time to actually give it a test. So I loaded it up with all of my stuff, took it on a couple of different trips just to see how it all performed. First up, we have this convertible backpack duffel from Ozark Trail. It definitely has a unique look to it. I think that these carry handles on the front, because they don't actually tuck away or anything like that, they can be a little bit distracting, but I don't mind the look of it actually. There are only a couple of external pockets to choose from, so you don't have a ton of little organization, which is a love-and-hate relationship. It kind of depends on your needs, but you have these 2 side large pockets with these water bottle pockets on the outside of them where you can stick all of your extra gear, but there's no organization inside of those pockets, so I definitely recommend using pouches. That actually really goes for this entire bag. There's no internal organization. There's a little sleeve on the inside where you could store a laptop or something like that, but in general, you're gonna wanna use cubes in this, otherwise your stuff is gonna get completely lost in there. The top carry handle is really, really comfortable. I think what this bag does well is its comfort. These back straps that stow away are really comfortable as well. Everything's just very cushy. Right when I put this thing on, I just felt really comfortable and like I could carry it for a really long time, even when it was really full. I actually packed up on my last day and I had everything loaded in here so nice. It looked beautiful. And then when I tried to zip it back up, it just straight up would not close. So I had to take everything out, rearrange it, kind of reassess where everything was stacked, and then I was able to get it closed. So it's a little bit of trial and error, but I think what this teardrop shape does really nicely is that it gives you kind of like a very sleek look on your back. It's very rounded, and it just looks very nice on. I think this is a really great budget option if you're looking for a bag for some weekend trips or you just want something extra to carry some additional gear. Next up from Ozark Trail, we have this 10-liter day pack. It might just be the colorway that we have here, but it's definitely giving off Spider-Man vibes, so that may be your thing, might not be, kind of up to you. I personally like it, but definitely a vibe. It's also got this little diamond pattern on it, and the materials feel super durable, but it's just like, it feels a lot like a kid's backpack to me, and it's a little bit hard for me to get past. It packs really, really flat, so I was able to stick this in my bag, lay it on the bottom, and pack everything I had on top of it, and it just came along with me in my trip, and I had it when I needed it, but it wasn't really in the way because it is so thin and flexible. There's a little tiny carry handle up at the top here, which is really great for just hanging it off a bathroom door or something. On the front here, we have a little zippered pocket that's easy to open, and it's a great size for quick grab items. I kept my headphones in here, my wallet, anything I wanted really quick access to. It's a decent size, but it does start to interfere with storage in the main compartment, so you do have to be a little bit intentional about how you pack this guy out. There isn't any organization inside of that main compartment though. As for the actual backpack straps themselves, they're pretty minorly padded, but you can't pack this thing out too much, so I felt like they were still really comfortable. What I didn't love is this back panel here. There's a little bit of padding, but anything too lumpy that I put in that main compartment, I could really feel through that. So I had to put flatter items on the back, be a little bit more strategic about how it was packed out, or else it would feel a little bit uncomfortable. Ozark Trail is known for having really great budget items, and like the duffel pack, this falls into that category. So while the style might not be for everybody, it's a really great option if you just need a day pack to kind of get you through your next trip. I got a lot of comments on the style of this next one, and not all of them were particularly nice. This is a waist pack from No Boundaries, and I primarily used it as a sling, but it does work either way. It's definitely bulky, and it looks a little bit odd really up close, but I think from far away, it's not that bad. I think it mostly has to do with the shape of it. Ahmad just described it as a diaper, which honestly, not that far off. It's a great bag if you have a lot of gear and you're really not quite sure where to put it. This front compartment has its own individual capacity, which means it's not going to interfere with whatever you put in the main compartment, meaning you can really load this thing out with gear without wondering how it's going to interact like it does with that backpack we talked about earlier. The material itself feels really durable. It's 100% recycled rPET polyester, and it feels a little bit rough, but it's still comfortable when you're wearing it. And as a note, none of the zippers so far have been YKK. The others are SBS, which we do have pretty solid luck with, but YKK is really the gold standard. The strap itself is a little bit on the rough side, but you do have a decent amount of adjustment space, and they use a plastic clip as a strap keeper instead of the traditional elastic you would usually see on other bags, which is great, it works well, but it was a little bit uncomfortable. I could definitely feel it digging into me if I had this on my body and it was adjusted in a particular way. Regardless of how you feel about the style of this sling, it works. On the topic of slings, we found this little guy in the checkout line. It's the Everything belt bag, not to be confused with the Everywhere belt bag from Lululemon. From far away, they look pretty much identical, you're just missing that Lululemon logo. The material's a little bit different as well. I definitely prefer Lululemon's over this one. It's a little bit more matte, which I prefer, but it picks up pet hair like crazy, and just lint and dirt in general. It's pretty comfortable to wear, though it does start to look a little bit saggy as you pack it out with more gear. And the organization is exactly like Lululemon as well. It has the same back zippered pocket, and even the mesh pockets on the inside are the same. There are a ton of knockoffs out there right now, so you can definitely pick up something like this and be fine, but I do think that the Lulu one is just significantly better than the others to make it worth it. If you international travel a ton, this is something you might want to be picking up for yourself. This thing feels pretty nice. It has a really smooth exterior and it has almost a leather look to it. On the inside is space for 10 cards, 2 in each slot. Any more than that and gets a little bit too tight. Behind that is space for receipts, and then behind that is some space for your passport. This is so that when you open up the wallet, you can get really quick access to your identification. On this side is a clear pocket where you can store your personal information. This card actually comes with the wallet, or you can store your immunization card if you're traveling somewhere that still requires them. It's RFID protected, so that's really great if security is a concern. But it can start to feel a little bit bulky once it's fully packed out. We've tested a lot of slimmer passport holders, and we recommend those instead if you like to pack minimally. We'll add a link to our roundup of travel wallets in the description below, so check that out. If you're not carrying your passport around with you all the time, you still need a minimalist wallet, which actually I really dig this thing. The material feels super durable and not very stretchy, which is really great for card security. Plus, it's got this money clip on the back, which you don't need to use all the time, but it's very, very strong and fun to play with. I found myself just kind of messing with it all the time, which was good if you don't have cash in here, but if you have cash in here, leave it be. It's kind of dangerous for people who like fidgeting with things, which is me. I only usually kept a single bill in here, but you can load it up with a few different ones without it feeling like it's gonna fall out. You can fit 2 cards in each of these front slots, 2 in the back here, and then there's also space for some additional cards in 2 little hidden spots on the side. I like this thing enough, it might just become my new favorite wallet. Next up is the Protege hanging bag, which I actually left at home because instead I grabbed the Eagle Creek, which looks pretty much the same. So I'm just gonna get rid of this. My biggest concern with this toiletry bag is it just feels way too big for my needs. There's a lot of space, which is awesome if you have a ton of stuff that you're carrying, but for me, I pack pretty minimally with toiletries, so I felt like I was taking up a lot of space in my bag and not really getting any benefit out of it. The zipper is pretty okay, but it's not super incredible. I didn't feel like it was gonna break on me, but I've definitely felt more secure. The material itself, though, feels super durable, and it's got a top hanging hook, which is really convenient in bathrooms. I do really like the pockets on the sides as well. I found them really great for larger items like a hairbrush. The internal organization is pretty solid as well, but you do have a lot of open space. So like I said, if you're carrying a ton of bottles, it's great for you. Otherwise, it might be a little bit overkill. Next up, we have the crunchiest packing cubes that have ever crunchied. They are insanely loud. In terms of actual function, these were fine. They did what they needed to do, and they did it okay, but I just didn't really love using them. The zippers and material feel like they might break whenever you get these loaded up too much, and the design is a little bit odd on this bigger packing cube. Instead of one big compartment, it's 2 really shallow compartments, so I found that they competed for space a lot. I wanted this design on the smallest cube, but because it was on the largest, I felt like I was taking up a lot of space without a ton of additional organizational benefits. I do give them props for the mesh and the ripstop material though. I think those are really great adds. I think this is a really great option if you are doing some last minute shopping and you just realize that your last packing cube's broke and you need some new ones. But overall, if you're going to be doing some actual searching for new cubes, there are definitely some better options out there. Next up is some tech from the Online, which is Walmart's tech brand. It's their tech line and they have a ton of different options from cables to wall chargers to battery banks. First up is that battery bank. This thing is super slim, super light, and was really, really convenient for just topping up on the go. However, it's rated for 5,000 milliamp hour, but its actual capacity is 2960, which means that you can really only charge your phone up about 1 time, which isn't super convenient. I charged my phone from basically 0 with this thing and I got it up to 100, but at that point I was completely out of juice and then I had to charge this up again before I was able to use it next. I have an iPhone 13. There's only USB-A, which isn't super convenient if a lot of your cables are USB-C, and it charges with micro USB, which is also not very convenient because you don't always have that cable on you, which isn't an issue if you include this universal cable. It's USB-A to micro USB, but it comes with adapters for lightning cable and for USB-C. That means that you can charge up this battery bank on the go. The braided cable feels super, super sturdy, and overall I thought that this was a really great option to have on hand when you're just walking around all day, but then you can also use it back at your accommodations. And to make everything work, we have this wall charger. Well, kind of make everything work. This is a great example of when you're shopping, pay attention to how all of your gear interconnects, because this is a USB-C, but we only have a USB-A cable. The single port or the dual port? This works pretty much like any other wall charger would. It's fast charging, which is really great for your devices, and it just has a nice, sleek, compact look to it. Out of all of the gear that we picked up at Walmart, this is the most expensive item. It's a travel adapter that functions like most other travel adapters do, but it's on the bulky side. We've definitely seen some smaller ones for about the same price. Even though it is pretty big, it feels really durable. There are buttons on each side to engage whatever adapter you need, and they lock into place right at the end so they stay nice and sturdy in your outlet. On the bottom you have 4 ports to plug in cables, and on the front is a traditional plug if you have some items like a curling iron or a steamer that you want to plug in. This has basically the same function as a regular wall charger, but works in a ton of different countries. If you've been to a big box store, you probably recognize this little package here. You see them in the travel aisle because they're TSA compliant and they come pre-made with these little bottles on the inside so you can fill it up with your own product at home. This one here is great in a pinch, but didn't exactly have everything that I need. It's got this little plastic sliding lock on the top, which is great for keeping everything contained, but it didn't leave a ton of extra room. If I started to pack out more than just what's inside of here, it started to feel like this might actually just pop off. And the plastic isn't the most durable either. So if you store something in here with pointier edges, like a bottle of sunscreen, it can start to poke through, which actually it did for me. I was pretty worried that I was gonna pop a leak in this thing. It comes with everything you see here. 2 3-ounce flip top bottles, 1 2-ounce spray bottle, 1 3-ounce dispensing tube, and 3 little jars. I never really found myself using the spray bottle or one of the jars. Not super functional for me, but you can buy individual pieces as well and kind of customize this to your own needs, so that's also an option. I did wish that I just had one other bottle instead of the little spray bottle. I ended up putting my own in there instead, actually, and just leaving the little spray bottle behind. So, you know, you can kind of customize it to your needs. If you've seen our channel before, you know we love little tiny carabiners. Don't know why, we just do. These from Ozark Trail are really great for just attaching little tiny items to your bag. I use this as a key leash actually in one of the bags that I'm testing, and it worked great to just keep my key on hand. They're a really great size, but they remind us a lot of Night Eyes, which makes a very similar design in a very similar size. These are about 1/6 of the price, but they're made with aluminum alloy, whereas Night Eyes makes theirs with stainless steel, so they're way more durable. They do make aluminum versions, but not in this size at the time of this video. It can carry a max load of 5 pounds, but you're gonna be using this for small gear anyway, so they're really great to have in a pinch. So there you have it, a breakdown of our Walmart travel haul. What do you think? Would you use all the gear on this list? And drop a comment if you want to see more videos like this where we explore other stores. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.